Hello everybody, welcome to the Chensor Dynasty. Ooh, the microphone is blocking my shirt. This is my official Uncensored shirt, as featured in Always Be My Maybe, worn by Randall Park on Netflix. So very cool, drawn by Irene Coe, very talented artist, etc., etc. But welcome to the Chensor Dynasty for another episode of Uncensored. It's been a while since I've done one of these. If you are unfamiliar with Uncensored, this is the stream in which I get to be an old man yelling at clouds, basically. So I am going to just complain and rage and just be mad about everything. And I'm warning you right now, if you have virgin ears, please make sure that they are ready for the upcoming profanity-laced tirade that I am about to go into at this point in time. So, let's go ahead and talk about the topics for today. The first topic that we are going to talk about here on Uncensored is my game is better than your game. And it's probably pretty clear what this is going to be about. But, you know, we'll get into that as soon as we go. And if I have time, which I probably will, because I don't plan to make this go for too long, I have a fun little side topic, which is basically talking about why dishwashers are a scam. That is my belief, and I will explain to you why that is so. Occasionally, I like to do completely ungaming related topics, and this is something that I think would be fun to do. Alright, so let's start with the first topic today. My game is better than your game. What is this topic about? Seems pretty clear, but there's one area in particular that I want to focus on. EVO is just around the corner, right? We're going to get a whole new set of eyes watching EVO, a whole new set of people watching EVO, and EVO every year brings in new faces, new fans, new people to come and watch all the different fighting games. In fact, EVO has one stream called the Jump Off, which is not dedicated to any one particular game. Instead, it is for all the games. It is for all the games, and that is to allow players, viewers, spectators to watch and find the game they love and maybe go, oh, that one looks particularly interesting and I want to get into that game, etc., etc. So the thing that I wanted to talk about before EVO rolls around is one of the most toxic things in the fighting game community, and that is the chat and shitting on other games, okay? Where people just spend all of their time just bagging on all the other games, on games that they don't play, games that they don't like and stuff. And it is terrible and awful. And basically what I'm going to do is lay out four particular reasons why we all should stop bagging on other games. And you know how this is. Someone in the chat's going to type, oh, Street Fighter is mindless, Tekken is boring, oh, Mortal Kombat is stupid, UNIST is ugly, Samurai Showdown has no options, etc., etc. People do this all the time. Resident Sleepers in the chat, etc., etc. Oh, Smash Brothers, absolutely Smash Brothers, and people are just going to be talking smack about each other's game all day. And we've seen this, and in my opinion, this has become the primary topic of chat these days for all fighting game streams. This is what you end up reading. 50% of the chat are people basically, smack talking each other's game, right? And this is what is purveying through our community right now. And so basically what I want to do here, and I know this is one of those pipe dreams, things that will probably never actually happen and probably no way that can actually get this culture to change, but I am going to try my best, and this is my topic. And so I'm going to give you four very, very pointed and very logical, very well thought out, very meaningful and very respectful reasons why you should stop bagging on other games, okay? All right? Okay. number one reason why you should stop bagging on other games in the chat is because it's fucking stupid. It's just fucking stupid. What are you, to quote the great Michael Jordan, stop it. Get some help. Okay? Because seriously, it is stupid. You are wasting your time. You are wasting my time. You are wasting everybody's fucking time by typing this shit in the chat that does absolutely nothing, that's good for nobody. I mean, seriously, everyone asks us in the chat, why the fuck are you watching this game? Why are you watching Street Fighter if you're just gonna sit in the chat and talk shit about Street Fighter all day? Why are you sitting in the chat and talking shit about Tekken if you're just gonna, why are you there? Why are you in the chat? Why are you in the chat talking shit, okay? Why do you even have to say anything? What is there to say? You're watching this and you're getting mad at this game. I mean, you are literally wasting everybody's time. You're wasting everybody's brain cells. You are wasting just everything. You're wasting bandwidth, okay? You're clogging the fucking pipes, okay? Stop talking shit about other games, right? I mean, if you think about it, right? Okay, sometimes you say, well, I'm waiting for my game to start, right? I'm waiting for Tekken to come on after Street Fighter. I don't like Street Fighter, so I'm gonna be talking shit about it. But you know what? You don't have to say anything. You literally don't have to say fucking anything. You don't have to say fuck all. You just leave it alone. You can just let people enjoy things. Let people enjoy things. Please let people enjoy things, right? If you're sitting at a concert and the opening act comes out and starts playing at the opening act, you don't sit there and just go, what the fuck is this band? They're boring, they're stupid. No, you give that band their respect. You give the band their time to play the music because you know how hard it is to make it as a band. You understand what opening acts are about. Every fighting game community out there is trying to do the same goddamn thing as your fighting game community. If you are waiting for your game to start, don't type in the chat if you don't have anything nice to say about the current game there. It's just, there's no point. And yes, that's not how life works. But you know what? I don't fucking care because I'm in the FGC. I see this in the FGC, and I don't want it in the FGC anymore, okay? I don't want this in the FGC. I want to try to change things. I want to create a better culture. It's not how it works. It's not how it works in the real world. But you know what? We have to say something. We have to yell about something. We've got to say something. If we don't say anything, then basically nothing's going to happen, right? So seriously, if you're in the chat and you're talking shit about the game just because you're waiting for the next game to start and you're bored, you're basically wasting everybody's goddamn time, and I don't want it anymore. Just stop. There's no reason for you to do this. You have no, yeah, exactly. Just so many people, sitting there with too much time on their hands, and they just want to talk shit. Well, okay, all right, okay. So there's my goofy reason for not doing this, right? And I told you I was going to give you logical, important reasons why to stop doing this. And I said there was going to be 4 reasons. So I've got 1 reason down. Okay, number two reason, this time I'm serious, okay? The number 2 reason why you shouldn't do that is because it's fucking stupid, okay? It's fucking stupid. Stop it. Get some help, okay? Because seriously, when you're talking in the chat and you're shitting on other games, what are you hoping is going to happen? What is it? Are you trying to convince people that this game is shitty? Are you just hoping that you're typing in, man, Tekken is boring, and then someone's going to scroll through, look at the chat, and read your chat and go, I used to enjoy watching Tekken, but you're right. This game is boring. Fuck this game. No, that shit is not gonna happen, right? That is not gonna happen. That's never gonna happen. And all you're doing is pissing people off. Okay? All you're doing is making mad. You know what it is? You fucking want attention. That's all you want. That's all you want. You just want attention. You want to be noticed. You want to elicit responses from people. You want people to reply to you, and you know negativity triggers the most responses. You are a child. Stop being an attention junkie. You are literally just being a child, a baby. This is like the behavior of a 5-year-old, right? And just because you think, oh, look, I'm on chat and nobody can see me and nobody can punch me in the fucking face, then I'm going to be this asshole online. And guess what? When you talk shit about a game, you aren't funny. Okay, surprise, you are not being funny. You are not being creative. You are not being interesting. You are doing nothing. You, in fact, are one of the most base, useless people in the chat possible. Okay, you are providing absolutely nothing. You are doing nothing, and all you want is attention, and all you're doing is just being contrarian. You're just trying to elicit reactions out of people, and it basically is just useless. Okay, seriously. Do something with your life, man. I mean, come on. You're going to sit there in the chat and talk shit about a game. Like, really, honestly, sit down and think about it for a second, okay? Think about it for a second. When you type that in there, what does that do? Does it make you feel better? Do you feel like you're smarter for it? Do you feel like you're cooler for it? Do you feel like you have improved as a human being and contributed to the society that is called human life? The answer is no. Okay? You are doing absolutely nothing. You are being a waste of human cells. You are being a waste of biological matter sitting there and yelling about this stuff. Okay? There is just, like, you just want attention. Okay? Absolutely, you just want attention. And that's all it is, and you need to fucking stop, okay? Because again, it is not doing you any, it's not getting you cred. It's not getting you any points. It's not making you any friends. Nobody thinks you're funny. Like, why are you doing this? Like, really, honestly, sit down and think about it. The next time you try to write something mean about another game or talk shit about another game, or you want to express your opinion that, like, oh, you know, this game doesn't have any depth or whatever like that, really just sit down and look at yourself and ask yourself, what am I trying to accomplish? Why am I doing this? How does this improve my life? How does this improve anybody's life? It doesn't. It's basically useless. It's basically useless, okay? All right, okay, hang on a second. I need a drink before I get to reason number 3. And I'm actually running through this pretty dang fast, so at the end of this, I will definitely be taking user questions and stuff like that, so. But as I said, my goal for Uncensored is to not make these, in particular, too long these days. But let's get to reason number 3. All right, I've emphasized reason number 1. I've repeated it for reason number 2. Reason number 3, however, is the reason number 3 why we shouldn't be talking smack about other fighting games when you're in the chat, okay, is because it's fucking stupid, okay? Is because it's just fucking stupid. Stop it. Get some help, okay? Because seriously, if you actually legit or actually hate the game that you're watching, if you're actually hating the game you are watching right now, and you just want to express your opinion on that, let me tell you something. Let me tell you the biggest nugget of truth. Let me tell you one of the most important nuggets of truth of you hating on the game. And you're saying, you know what, this is just my opinion. It's what I want to express because I genuinely hate this game. I genuinely think this game is boring, or I genuinely think this game is spazzy, or I genuinely think this game is stupid or trash or whatever like that. Let me break this down to you, okay? And I'm being absolutely serious right now. You are hurting the community. All right? Let me say this one more time. You are hurting the community. And when I say you are hurting the community, I mean your game too. okay? You are hurting everybody. You are hurting the entire fighting game community. You are hurting the entire FGC. You are bringing the whole thing down, okay? Now, here's the most important reason why that happens. Let's say you are a Smash player and you're watching Guilty Gear and you're bored and you want this to end and you think this game is trash. Well, you know what? There's going to be people in the chat who aren't an idiot like you, right? There are going to be people in the chat who are not jerks like you, who don't want to espouse their shitty opinion constantly on the internet for some sort of false sense of validation. What's going to happen is there's somebody else in the chat who loves Guilty Gear and likes Smash Brothers, has absolutely no problem with Smash Brothers. They enjoy Smash Brothers. They like watching Smash Brothers. And you're going to run in the chat and you're going to say, this game sucks, it's boring. My game is that much better because it has this, it has strategy, it has this, it's execution, it is this, it's not stupid Smash friendly, and you type out all these reasons. And the person who loves Guilty Gear, the person who sits there in the chat who loves the game is going to read this and be like, hang on a second, that's not true about my game at all. And then they're going to start arguing with you because that's just what people do. When you attack something that they love, they get defensive. And, you know, you're attacking a game, they have absolutely every right to be defensive because you're casting the first stone. So when the guy who loves whatever game that you're shitting on at the time, they're basically going to start defending their game. And when you start bringing up your game, what's going to happen is this person who originally didn't hate your game at all through any way possible is going to start talking shit about your game in comparison to their game. You are perpetuating the problem and you are causing people who may have originally enjoyed your game and may have in the future started playing your game and enjoying your game and joining your community and might have become a very valuable member of your community or a contributor to your community to hate your game. You might have caused somebody to hate your game when they could have absolutely been a contributing member to your community. You are just basically hurting the entire FGC, right? Because, like I said, you're creating the cycle. You're creating this thing where the more you hate on stuff, the more people defend on it, the more they hate your thing, etc., etc. You are basically hurting the fighting game community, right? So if you just are watching and you genuinely have no interest in the game that's on there, just don't say anything. You're splitting the scene. You're making the FGC weaker as a whole, and one of the reasons why there is all of this drama of people hating each other's game and such is because people are in the chat talking about this all the time. If you just genuinely hate it and you just want to express your opinion, just don't. Or just talk to your friends about it locally, just don't spew it in the chat because you cause chain reactions. You cause other people to want to defend their game and start talking shit about your game. Okay? All right. Fourth and final reason why you should stop talking shit about other games in the chat. And I get it. It's funny. I keep repeating the same reason. I don't need to do that anymore because I've gotten a little more serious now, right? So the fourth and final reason why you should stop talking shit about other games is because it's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid, okay? Stop it. Get some help. Like, seriously, just get some help. Now, here's the thing. Everybody is saying this in the chat, and I'm absolutely going to address this. Maybe you're just an asshole. Maybe you don't care about the fighting game community. Maybe all your goal is just to cause trouble. Maybe you're there just to make people miserable. And if that's the case, then fuck you. Get the hell out of my community. Go bug some other fucking community and leave us alone. I hate you. You are the reason why everybody wants Carmen to exist. so that strangers at the gas station or the supermarket or whatever will come up to you and tell you how awful you're dressed and how your face makes them want to puke and that you smell like farts being lit on fire, okay? Fuck you. Get out of our community and leave, okay? You just have no reason to be there. Go do something with your goddamn life, okay? If you're just there to troll, go do something else, man. There's so many other things you can do. Even if it's you just go down to Netflix, and go watch, one of the fucking 500 TV shows on there that are amazing. And then you can just yell at your TV about how other shows suck compared to your... Go watch Game of Thrones and talk shit about The Walking Dead into the void, okay? Just get the fuck out of my community, okay? Because you are incorrigible, you are unreparable. Fuck you. Get the hell out of my community. We don't want you here. And you know what? If anybody sees these people talking shit about your game, just don't respond to them, okay? This is now my message to the people who are in the chat who don't like this as much as I do. If you see people talking shit about the game, just don't reply to them because they are a fucking waste of space. They're a waste of time. They've got some weird complex that they just can't go a day without fucking trying to make other people miserable because they're so unhappy with themselves. Don't perpetuate the misery. Don't spread the misery. Just fuck them. Ignore them. As soon as you see someone say shitty about your game, just mute them. Just get rid of them. Just take them out of the chat. Take them out of your life. You don't need that shit. And just go on and continue conversing with the other intelligent people who are in the chat and are there to enjoy a pastime that we all love, okay? We all love this game. If they're a top player, mute them. Fuck them. I don't care. Top players can be toxic too. Who the fuck cares? You just don't need that shit, right? And if you see people engaging them, mute them too, because they're going to reply to it. But that's why my advice to you is just don't reply to them. Just let people shout into the void. Just let people just do this. We're not going to change the internet. I'm not going to change the internet. I'm not going to change chat. I'm not going to change the FGC. But we can just ignore them and just let them go and just let them yell. And again, let's enjoy the pastime. Don't spend your time watching a top 8, yelling at somebody about why your game doesn't suck, or just reading this and letting it affect you or whatever like that. Close the chat. Just watch the game. Enjoy the top 8. Have a great time. That's why we're all here, to be honest with you. We're all here to watch fighting games, to play fighting games, to enjoy fighting games, to enjoy the cool strategy that comes with it, to enjoy the cool things that your particular game brings, right? I love all fighting games as much as I can. Yes, there are some fighting games I love more than others. There's a couple of fighting games that have occurred in the history that I actually kind of dislike, but I don't talk about them. I've made this comment millions of times. There's 2 games out there that I genuinely don't really like. And I never, ever, ever mention what they are. I don't actually ever talk about what they are because I just don't need to. Who needs that energy? Who needs that shit, right? What good is it gonna do for me to sit there and go and I hate fighting game X, right? I hate fighting game Y. I hate fighting game Z. All you're doing is hoping is somebody else go, yeah, that's right, I hate it too. And then you're like, yes, my opinion is awesome because somebody agreed with me. There's other, if you actually think about this, if you went in the chat and said, this fighting game sucks, and somebody else goes, yeah, this fighting game does suck, and then you're like, yes, my opinion is justified, right? What if you went into the chat and was like, you know what, I really enjoyed this fighting game, and you had 7 other people go, yeah, this fighting game's awesome, I'm glad you, and you're like, hey, I'm really enjoying this fighting game, I haven't played it before, I haven't watched it a lot, but this looks really fun. You're gonna get a bunch of people in the chat being, it is really fun, you should join, hey, come check out this Discord, do this stuff, and you know what, you're gonna get the same kind of validation endorphins, right? But for some reason, it just feels that much easier to talk shit about something and get your endorphins through riling other people up, because it's more guaranteed to get a response. The chances of you typing "I like this" and having people come back and agree with you and be nice with you is a little bit lower, but when it does, trust me, the endorphins are that much better. It's just like a fighting. It's just like anything in life. It's a little bit harder to pull off, but in the end, it's fucking far more rewarding. Okay, and it will be that much better, and you are creating a better environment. And I'm not just one of those guys that's going to be sitting here and be like, we should stop pop-offs, we shouldn't fucking swear anymore and whatever. Like, no, do whatever you want, but it's just that there's no reason to talk shit about other games, because like I said in some of the earlier points, you're just hurting the scene. You're just not contributing to anything. And trust me, all of us want the fighting game community to succeed. And again, if you are just an asshole and you really just have no interest in the fighting game community, you just have no interest in anything, get the fucking hell away, okay? Just go. And if you want to sit around and just talk fucking shit about everything all day because you just need to do that to make yourself feel better, fine. Go ahead, do that. But my advice to everybody else is just ignore them, okay? Just stop talking to these people. Okay, don't give them that satisfaction. That is going to be one of the number one ways. If someone says something mean about your game and you reply and start to argue with them, it doesn't matter what you say. Okay, this is the absolute truth. Okay, this is the case with almost anything. It doesn't matter what you say. Their whole goal is to get you engaged, and their whole goal is to get you riled up. Okay. That's all it is. As soon as you say anything, they've won. You're not convincing them just as much as they're not convincing you. If they say something shitty about your game, there's nothing you can do to win, because except ignore them. And if everybody ignores them and they type some stupid shit in the chat and nobody responds to them, they're going to stop. And that's just all it is. That's the absolute truth. That's the truth. If somebody says there's no depth in KI, if someone says there's no depth in Samurai Shodown, if they say Tekken is Resident Sleeper, if they say Street Fighter is just fucking random as hell, there's nothing you're going to say to them that is going to change their mind or make them go, you know what, I was wrong, I'm not going to talk shit about this game anymore. Because if they are assholes, the only reason why they're there is just to get a response from you. So, fuck them, okay? Alright. So those are basically the 4 main reasons that I have. And again, the reason why I really wanted to do this at this point is because EVO is coming up. And we're going to get a lot of new faces. And one of the things that's going to help the fighting game community grow is to welcome people into the community. If you're in the chat watching any of the games for EVO, in fact, this is what you should do. This is what you should do. If somebody talks shit about the game in the chat while you are watching the game that you love, if you are watching if you're watching MK11 and somebody comes in the chat and says MK11 sucks, just type a reason why MK11 is great. Okay? I really like the MK defensive system. I really like the meter system in MK. MK is really, really awesome neutral base. You know, MK didn't, take away a lot of the high execution. It's really still fun that way. I really like the meter burn system. Every time you see something negative, just type something positive so that new people coming into the chat won't just sit there and read negative stuff all day. They'll read the positive stuff to counteract it. Don't even direct your comment at the hater. Just put something down that you like about it. You know, Dragon Ball, everybody does the same combo. What I like about Dragon Ball is that the latest patch has made lots of the characters have a lot more variation in their combos. They're a lot deeper now, etc., etc. Just do stuff like that. And I think that's going to be the best thing that you can do, because all these new faces are going to be in the scene. All these new eyes are going to be there. Chat is on by default, which I still think should be off by default. And so if you put in a bunch of positive stuff, if you see somebody come in and be like, I haven't watched this game, or hey, I haven't experience. And that's not going to happen very often. Very few people are going to do that. But if it ever happens, make sure you welcome them. Make sure you welcome them into the scene, because the more people that come into the fighting game community, the better. Now, obviously, there's a lot of people who don't care if it gets big, or if it goes esports or whatever, and all this stuff like that. And obviously, everyone's like, James, you're a commentator. This is your job. Of course, you want it to get bigger. I have no interest. I like it grassroots, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Look, it's still awesome. It's still fucking cool that we have 7 games at EVO of over 1,000 entrants, okay? It's fucking amazing. The Under Night in Birth EXE latest has over 1,000 entrants, when last year it was a side tournament at EVO that capped at 256, okay? When nobody talked about that game before. It's an awesome story, right? It's an awesome story to read about, Justin trying to fly out all these people, and, Arslan Ash, who we discovered at EVO Japan, and now Pakistan is this big story in the Tekken community. And Arslan Ash, thanks to eFight Pass and thanks to Sherry, is making it to EVO, and he gets to keep the story up. He gets to keep the story going, right? It's awesome that this is going to be the first time we're going to find out what Samurai Showdown is really about. A lot of people are like, there's going to be 7 Genjuros in top 8. That's part of the story. It's so cool. Like, every one of these games have just these awesome stories and awesome storylines going into it, and there's just so much positivity around the FGC. And some people have even mentioned this in the chat as well. When you go to an actual event, it's crazy because nobody actually does that. Nobody is in what happens in the chat, not even the people in the audience. People in the audience are watching a game they don't just sit there and go, this game sucks! Because they know they'll get fucking jumped. They'll get punched in the face. They'll get punched in the mouth by a bunch of people, right? Or they'll basically be banished from the tournament, right? They'll be banned from the tournament. Get that guy out of here. When you go to a fighting game community in person, it is such a fantastic place that everybody is usually so nice to each other. Obviously, there's going to be bad situations, and obviously the FGC is not perfect. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that everything's all happy-dory and everything's all roses and puppies and sunshines and rainbows at fighting games. But for the most part, when you meet new people at FGC events, when you find other people, when you sit next to a random guy and you're watching MK together, and you're like, why did that guy do that? And the guy next to you goes, oh, well, the reason why is because in this game you can do this, and this happens here. And this guy just offered this information to you out of the kindness of his heart, and because he's interested in you being interested. It's a wonderful experience, okay? It truly is an awesome thing. And so if you can't make it to EVO, no problem. Being a spectator is absolutely fine and absolutely legit. You're absolutely part of the FGC if you are just a spectator and you love fighting games. But again, just don't address the negativity. Let's just leave the negativity out and just I didn't tell people to punch him in the mouth. I said someone would punch him in the mouth. But in any case, that's my message. And again, it's all it's probably going to fall largely on deaf ears for the haters, for the people who are just being jerks just to be jerks and stuff. But for a lot of the other people out there who aren't interested in this, I think it would be, we can do something about it. I feel like we can do something about it. And it's mostly ignore the haters and try to throw some positivity in the chat. Every time you see something negative in the chat, if 4 people are like, oh, negative, let's type something positive, and 4 positive things come up in the chat. So for every negative thing, 4, 3, 7, 8 positive things show up in the chat. Who knows? Maybe we can actually change something. I don't know. That's just a theory of mine. We have no proof that it'll work or whatever like that. I just want to make things better, man. I just want to make more people love fighting games. That's all I really want, okay? And yes, every Twitch chat is toxic. League of Legends chats are toxic. Overwatch chats are toxic. If football had a chat, oh God, the Super Bowl would be the most toxic thing in the world. And again, I can't change the internet. But you know what? I'm here in the fighting game community. I have a voice. I'm hoping I can use my voice to the best power that I have. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to do the best that I can. So there you go. That is my rant about my game is better than your game. What I want to do now is actually take any counterpoints or any questions or any concerns in the chat from people who have questions. If you want to ask me a question, take your time, think about the question. Take time, think about the question a little bit. I'm going to run an ad. I'm going to drink water, refill my thermos over here. And then when I come back, I'll start answering a bunch of questions before I jump on to the second topic, which is going to be a little bit more fun. So I will be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. And if you do have an ad blocker on right now, I would greatly appreciate it if you turn the ad blocker off right now while I run some of these Twitch ads so I can get some esports pennies. So I will talk to you guys in just a little bit. I will be right back. Do not go anywhere. Alright everybody, welcome back to UNCHENSORED. I just finished the big rant on the topic. Before I get to the small minor topic here, I want to give this opportunity a chance to ask me any questions that they want me to address. So if you had any questions about this topic that I have, please make sure you type in an @jchensor or I will most likely miss your question. Naleb asks a question that is a really bad question because he says, is there anything Capcom or the community can do to prove to the world that SFA is enjoyable at the moment? Well, maybe he enjoys it and he's frustrated that other people don't enjoy it. So maybe I misinterpreted. I thought he was being cynical and sarcastic and maybe trying to, poke fun at the game. And I interpreted that incorrectly. So I apologize, Naleb. I apologize. You were probably trying to get this from a different standpoint of, I actually do enjoy the game. How do I convince other people that the game is enjoyable? You don't have to. You don't have to. People are people, and once they've kind of determined they don't like something, a lot of times it's very hard to change people's opinions. And it's kind of a losing battle. And there are a lot of people out there who do enjoy the game. The people who hate it are louder. That's just all it is. But a lot of people do enjoy the game. And the way that you prove to them that it's enjoyable is you just keep watching. And it's just going to keep having the numbers. Everyone keeps saying it's a dying game, and it's still the second highest game at EVO. Despite the fact that Tekken's grown every year, it still has the most entrants outside of Smash, right? It's not going anywhere. People still like the game. So, there's really no reason to try to push too hard for people to enjoy the game outside of just saying, hey, I like the game. I think it's fun. And that's it. And if you are just earnest about that and you really do enjoy the game, I mean, that's the best thing that you're going to do to be able to get it in there. So yeah, sorry about that, Naleb. I'm really apologize about that, so I'll take that back. Okay, so Guhak says, a dead game is such a stupid statement. Any way we can make it so someone uses this is seen by everyone with scorn? I mean, honestly, we should probably just ban dead game, the phrase, from the chat completely, and everything like that. And like I said, if anyone ever types dead game or whatever like that, like I said, just ignore them. Don't fucking respond to them. Just don't even care about it. It's like really, really annoying. It's really stupid. So it's... I've said on Twitter that I think dead game is the stupidest phrase. Just don't even use it anymore. I used it recently as a joke and I kind of regretted it. So I'm not even going to use it as a joke anymore. So... And let's see, there's a couple of questions that have not to do with the topic, so I'm not going to address those just yet right now. Well, this is an interesting question, even though it's not quite on the topic. KFC asks, whatever happened to all the high-profile, high-stakes money matches we used to have? I don't know, actually. You know what? It's just that people stopped playing MVCI. That's just really what it is, because when you think about those high-stake money matches, they were almost all fueled by, shout outs to Lord Tick for the subscription. But if you look at it, Marvel fueled a lot of those money matches. And a lot of the other genres were like, I'm jealous of Marvel's hype, let's do the same thing. Really, honestly, I think the thing that kind of hurt the high-stake money matches was just that MVCI was not popular and it just kind of died out, unfortunately. So that's the part that kind of sucks. So Can I start a Twitter hashtag to improve the SF5 netcode? Hashtag's not going to do much to improve the Twitter netcode. Trust me, I've talked directly to Capcom about these issues, and I've been talking about it, and a lot of it just comes down to Japanese offices and the fact that the internet in Japan is flawless and that there's no problems with the netcode in Japan. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of work to try to get them to fix that, unfortunately. So yeah, no problem, Naleb. I see to where you're coming from. Again, I apologize. I thought you were being a troll for half a second, so I will give you another apology because I actually feel really bad about that. So, Moreria asks, since you've been in the community before it really existed, do you think the community has become more toxic over time? Only because... So there's a couple of things, right? One, obviously the internet existing has made it harder. Now, that isn't to say that the community wasn't kind of toxic back in the days, even in the news group days of Alt Games SF2 and Alt Games MK2. There was a lot of shit talking between the two games. There was always the whole Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat thing. The thing that's crazier about it now is that the fighting game community is so... The fighting games themselves are so fucking good right now. The games are all so good and they're all worth playing. Because before, there was like 20 games, but only 2 of them were really worth playing. Only 3 of them really mattered. You could just basically say, if anybody came up to you and was like, dude, Time Killers is the best game, you would just look at them and be like, really? You know, I mean, that was just the thing. But nowadays, legit, like 15 fighting games are, like current fighting games from the last like 3 years are super good. For the last 5 years, I should say, because I want to include Street Fighter 5 and Tekken 7. Games, like, they're just all so good, and that's the hardest thing for me right now, is I can't even play them all. I have to keep dropping games from my library of play because there's just new games all the time. So the reason why I bring that up is because there's now more places for people to split off into, and the people who aren't just trying to be assholes, who just genuinely like their game and are sad less people play it, or more people are playing a game that they feel is inferior, like, why are people playing Street Fighter when Guilty Gear exists? You know, like, the thing about it is the Guilty Gear player is not wrong because their game is awesome, right? It's not like the guy was going like, play War Gods, you know, and you're just like, whatever, bro. But like, you know, nowadays when someone says, why are you not playing UNIST? The answer to that is, that's a great question. Why am I not playing UNIST? There's too many good games out there. And so all the negativity kind of just, there's just more fracturing. And so it feels more toxic because there's just so many more fighting games to get left behind. And the fans of those games are that much more frustrated that something else that they don't feel like deserves the spotlight is getting the spotlight, you know. And there is a lot of times a little bit of bitterness, of jealousy that can come with a lot of the hate. And I guess that's probably something I should have addressed earlier. One of the, like maybe a fifth reason, you know, is, you know, and talk about this kind of thing is that, you know, if you are jealous about other games, don't be jealous of other games, because your game succeeding, Street Fighter succeeding and making EVO a big deal allowed for UNIST to have the year that it's having, right? A lot of UNIST people put in the work. Obviously, it's not just EVO, Shinobi, all these other, you know, for running the Climax of Night, all the people getting the big tournaments and breaking numbers at Combo Breaker and EVO and CEO year after year. They did a lot of work. But to be recognized by EVO and to have EVO pull it in and then have everybody go, oh, EVO has this game, let's check it out. Whoa, this game is great. This is fun. We're all, Sajam's playing it on his stream. He's getting people into the game, etc., etc. And now there's 1,000 people at EVO. That happened because EVO was big, and EVO was big because other fighting games were bigger before it, right? Before UNIST, I'm saying. You know, by having other fighting games be successful, it allowed EVO to be successful, which has now allowed UNIST to be successful. Don't be bitter and jealous about other games' success, because it is helping you. It is helping you. And, you know, if you're like, oh, my game doesn't have a scene or whatever like that, you know, it deserves, Evo needs to add it and give it a chance. Like, the scenes that will thrive are the ones that have the people putting in that work and the effort. And like I said, nothing comes for free, right? You got to put in the effort, and when you do, the reward is that much more satisfying. So that's basically kind of how I stand by that. So I feel it's important to discuss what controllers are allowed at tournaments. Yeah, that's a whole different topic. We'll probably talk about that on the Tuesday show, so we'll worry about that later. So Duplo A asks, do you think that talking shit in chats and whatnot contributed to the non-success of MVCI, major tournament-wise? I think it had a lot to do with it. I mean, it being fugly as hell obviously didn't help. And then not having the X-Men in there really didn't help. And then all of the negative press and Dragon Ball coming out at the same time certainly didn't help. But the negativity is a big thing, right? Because the more people who talk shit about it, you make people who are on the fence of playing it feel less inclined to play it. Like it's the peer pressure, right? These people who might want to have played are like, everyone makes fun of this game. Everyone says it's shitty. I don't want to play it. I'm not going to play it because I don't want to be embarrassed for playing this game, even though I kind of like it. I'll go play something else. You know, people have that response to things. It'll happen to people. And so the negativity is definitely a factor. It's probably not the biggest factor. It's probably not the only factor. It's definitely not the only factor. But it is definitely a significant contributing factor. So, not a question really. I came from the CSGO community. The FGC seems way less toxic than the CSGO FPS community. So many people are willing to help new players. Yeah, I mean, it's true. You know, like, the FGC is, in a lot of ways, a lot less toxic than other scenes. I've heard stuff like League of Legends chats are awful. And yeah, but the fortunate thing about it, I mean, yeah, there's always going to be like the Halo guys and the CS:GO chats and the you know, Dota players and the League of Legends chats, and you know, people talking shit about each other's game and stuff like this all day. Overwatch players in CS:GO chats or whatever, or CS:GO players in Overwatch chats and stuff like that. But the nice thing about a lot of those games is the events are just made for their game. And so it's a lot easy to just whatever the hate in the chats and the toxicity, because you've got this event just dedicated to your thing. The thing that makes fighting games a little bit tougher on that is there are so many games and they're all fighting for space within an event. And so there's a little bit more real world ramifications of kind of the toxicity of the chat. So while it might not be as toxic, the ramifications of it might actually be a little bit more harsh, as we were discussing with MVCI, right? Like if MVCI came out and Marvel was like, we're gonna run MVCI tournaments, and here's this big giant event like, you know, like Overwatch, like Blizzard's like, here's Overwatch, here's $1 billion, and we're gonna make Overwatch a big thing, then the toxicity isn't gonna be as much of a problem, because fighting game community is still grassroots. It's still up to us. It's still up to the community to make a game succeed. And so the toxicity has more ramifications, even though it's not as crazy. Suburban Socrates asks, I think there's two things related to having too many good games that cause people to get upset. One, many people don't want to play more than one fighting game, so they see other fighting games as competition. Two, related to the first point, the fact that it can be really hard to find someone to play with less popular games frequently having little or no active players in online matchmaking. Yeah, a lot of this, and again, that's the fracturing, right? That's what killed fighting games back in the 90s. You know, when fighting games were really popular, then everybody had a fighting game, and everybody ran to the fighting game that they won at. And if I could win at KI, I would go play KI. I would stop playing Street Fighter because I couldn't win at Street Fighter anymore. If I could win at Virtua Fighter, I'd go play Virtua Fighter instead of playing Mortal Kombat because I couldn't win at Mortal Kombat anymore. And it fractured. And unfortunately back then, there just wasn't as many players. And so that literally killed the genre. Nowadays, we have enough people to play that the fracturing isn't as bad, but it just creates this really uncomfortable environment that I'm not really, that obviously I really dislike, and I hope that we can fix and stuff. So, seeing other fighting games as competition is absolutely something that's going to happen, and, if anyone ever talks to you and starts making it sound like that, you can just be, gentle and just be like, look, I think your game is probably cool. I just don't have the time to play it. And so I'm going to play the game that I'm like, just like you're playing the game that you like. But if they're like, man, I don't have anybody to play against, will you play this game with me, please? I just really want someone to play this game with me because I don't have any. I mean, look, all fighting games are fucking fun, okay? I love MK11, and this is not just me giving it lip service. Like, I just played in that MK11 E-League exhibition, and goddamn, I had fun. I forgot how much fun I had with MK11, and I'm so excited to go and play that again. Like, I had a lot of fun with Soul Calibur. I'm sad I'm not playing Unist or Guilty Gear. I love Samurai Showdown. Dude, all these fighting games have so many good things about them. And the fact that I did so well during that E-League Showdown thing, I don't even think is a coincidence. I think I did well because I'm playing so many different fighting games. And you can focus on some fighting games and, just dabble in others. So if you have a friend that's like, please play it, and if you're really good friends with this guy and you're genuinely willing to learn that game, sit down and play with them. You might end up finding a game that you really do like. If you really just don't like it, just let your friend know and just be like, look, I don't really like the game and I don't enjoy playing it, and I don't want to be this negative guy playing this game with you all. I don't want to ruin your experience playing this game. I apologize. The game just doesn't work for me. You know what I mean? Bring it up that way. Try not to make it too conflicting. Just make it a logical reason. Just be honest and say, this game's not for me. Don't say the game is shitty or I think the game sucks. Just say the game isn't for me. I don't want to bring down your experience. I don't want to make it bad for you. So, thought about Max's effort to revive KI? Let's do it. Dude. Sailor Moon S has a revival. It has a scene right now. It's a Super Nintendo game made by ArcSys back in the 90s. That's all I have to say. Any effort that you have to bring back anything, do it. Look what Jazzy Circuit did. Jazzy Circuit for Third Strike at Defend the North brought a lot of hype, and now all of a sudden there's all this energy playing Third Strike. I went to a place yesterday to play a bunch of Third Strike because in fact, I have talked a lot of negativity about Third Strike in the past because I just don't like parries. But the thing is, I want to learn how to play this game. I want to get good at Third Strike because you know what? In the end, it's a really fucking good game. It's a really fucking good game. So I'm going to try to learn how to play it to the best I can. And that's just how it works. I am definitely going to learn that game. What's my favorite Cammy? Super Turbo Cammy. Super Turbo Cammy is my favorite Cammy for sure. So, okay. Don't say that, C-Trigger, please, okay? Please. And yeah, I played with him yesterday. ultradavid was there too. We were playing, and Sanchez was there, which is super valuable, by the way. Alex Sanchez, because he knows the game better than, almost anybody out there. And he knows all the characters so well. So I played against David, and against his Q, and he fucking destroyed me. And, I didn't feel too bad because David was like, actually, Q versus Dudley might be one of Q's only, 5-5 matchups or whatever like that. I was like, okay, that makes sense. But then I walked up to Sanchez and I was like, how do I play this fight? I can't win in neutral. How do I poke at him and whatever? And he was like, you turtle him. You turtle Q. That's how Dudley fights Q, is you turtle him. I was like, what? Dudley turtling is not even a concept in my brain. And then I played David again, and I turtled, and I came a lot closer. And even David afterward was like, that was much better. That was really, really good. And so, you learn. I'm lucky because I have someone like Sanchez who can teach me and stuff like that. But that's just the way it works, man. I don't like parries, but whatever. I totally get parries. I know why people love them. I'm going to learn the game because I hate the fact that I can't play Third Strike. I actually hate that. I want to learn this game. I want to get good at this game, and I just really, really want to get into it. So, Barber asks, why do you swear so much now? I've always sworn a lot. UltraDavid always laughs when people are surprised when I swear because, you know, we're around each other so much, traveling and everything. I swear all the time. But the reason why I'm swearing a lot on stream is because this is Uncensored, and Uncensored is my opportunity to be unfiltered, to rant however I want to, and to throw in curse words everywhere, and to kind of be a little bit of myself. That's not saying when I don't swear a lot, I'm not myself. It's just I'm trying to be a professional on stream or whatever like that. But if you watch my Tetris streams, you know that I swear all the time. I swear all the fucking time. Like, I am so mad and I get so angry during my Tetris streams. Holy crap. I swear a lot, so I swear a lot. Any other questions? This is actually not as many questions as I thought. If not, then I will go on to the fun extra topic of Uncensored, just something I kind of wanted to rant about a little bit. So, oh, thanks, Arik. Yeah, that's the thing, is I know all the combos. I used to watch a shit ton of Third Strike. I used to watch a lot of Third Strike back in the day. It was one of my favorite games to watch when we were downloading match videos on Real Media and in MPEGs and shit like that. Like, I watched so much Third Strike because high-level Japan Third Strike is just so much fun to watch. So I know a lot about the game. I just don't know all the intricate details. I don't know the matchup details, etc., etc. So I know what I'm doing, but I don't know enough of what I'm doing. So me jumping into Third Strike is not so much me blindly jumping in. Like, I know a lot of the shit that happens in that game. So that's basically what it was, so... any tips for getting better at execution in fighting games? Yeah, Amine50. I've talked about this in a lot of execution corners. I did an execution corner recently, and nobody really had anything for me, so I haven't done another one again. But the rule to the execution is always understanding why the combo is not happening. My rule for execution, again, this is off topic, but I just like answering this question. Because execution is something very important to me. The way that you want to look at execution is that execution is 100% a science. It is not a magical talent, okay? It is not a magical talent. The people who are good at execution don't just happen to have magic powers or some innate ability. I am the clumsiest, klutziest, least coordinated guy that's out there. Yeah, I can do combos. And the reason why is I study why combos don't work. If I hit a button, it doesn't come out. I look at the inputs. I study the inputs. I see what's causing the problem. I understand the systems of the game. I understand why this is. I have the understanding that if I want certain things to link, I got to hit it meaty. So that means I must be timing this part wrong, not where it's dropping here. The mistake is over here. My execution comes purely from studying the science of why the combo works. And because of that, I can logic my way through the execution, get good at it, and turn it into muscle memory. It also helps to have a very strong rhythmic and musical background. That does help a lot. And that part is innate, that part is inherent. And that is something that you've really got to understand. But I used to play piano, I sing a lot, understanding beat, understanding rhythm. I played a lot of rhythm games. That does help a lot with execution. But I would say like maybe 20% that helps, but 80% is always going to be the science of the combo, and that's always going to help out the most. What are your opinions on smaller fighting game communities that aren't at EVO but are still fun? Pokken, Power Rangers, DOA 6. Run side tournaments, man. Run side tournaments, and now EVO is doing the thing where they're giving out medals to side games and giving stream time to, you know, official, unofficial games. They literally have official, unofficial games pretty much. And if you're running these things, apply for that. Try to get on those side streams for EVO and, you know, just keep growing your scene. Keep playing it. If you like it, keep playing it. You know, if you build it, they will come. Look at Unio, man. Look what Unio and Eunice did. Shinobi literally just took all of his own money and said, I'm going to run Climax of Night because I love this game. And now look where Eunice is, man. It's not a coincidence. It's just, it's not, the community is always going to be the strong. If you have people playing it, it's not a dead game. If there are 7 people traveling to go, showing up to Canada Cup to play Sailor Moon S, it's not a dead game. Is there any mechanics that kind of faded away you would like to see come back in fighting games today? Invincible uppercuts. Oh shit. But hi, kitty. Let's see. Did you guys see the Marvel X-Men Punisher 1-up arcade machine? I did not. But I saw that it was released. I haven't seen it in person. So, hi. There you go. All right. So since hi. Wow, you are cuddly here, huh? Yeah, chip kills I would love to have back as well and stuff like that. So, let's go ahead and jump on to the next topic. It's already 5:20, so this, like I said, is just going to be a short little rant here. Nothing too serious. I just want to have some fun with this as well. Okay, let's see here. A couple of extra questions here. Do you have an example of a community that does it right? Yeah, Smash and UNCHENSORED, I think, are two of the communities that do it great. I mean, as much as we want to make fun of or just, face palm at a lot of the crazy things the Smash community does, Smash community doesn't need anybody, right? If Evo went away, Smash community would be like, who cares, right? And that is actually a sign of community strength. They're doing a lot of good things on top of a lot of the terrible things that keep happening in the community. But, that's just human nature. Human nature is just going to have a lot of people just, bad things happen, unfortunately. So, and characters I want to see next in Street Fighter V are Honda and Saddam, just to complete the 17 characters from the original Street Fighter II series, and to make sure that every character outside of Junie and Julie who have been in an alpha game have come back to either 4 or 5. Saddam is the only one besides Junie and Julie who hasn't had that happen. Tetris is at Evo. You can talk to 645 on Twitter. He runs Puyo Puyo Tetris side tournaments as well. Alright, so let's talk about the little minor topic that I have here for UNCHENSORED. Let's talk about this a little bit. This topic is the topic is that dishwashers are a scam. Okay? All right? Because they are. They're literally a scam. Here, let me do this here. Let me do this real quick for you guys here. Let me show you what dishwashers are for. Oh, okay. Hi, Jasmine. Boy, you are cuddly today, Jasmine. Let me show you what let me show you what dishwashers are for, okay? Dishwashers are a drying rack. That's all they are. They're a drying rack. You just wash the dishes and you put them in there, and that's a good place for the water to drip. That's all dishwashers are good for. That's all they're good for. And the reason why I say this, check out my Stay Angry shirt. Yeah, shout outs to Irene Co. one more time for that awesome shirt. So here's the reason why dishwashers are a scam. They don't clean anything. Every time I put my dishes in the fucking dishwasher and I run the dishwasher and I open the dishwasher and I look at my dishes, they're fucking not clean. They're just not clean. Now, granted, my dishwasher is probably as old as I am, so that's enough said. But still, they're not fucking clean, right? And so a lot of times you get this dirt and grime or something that's like caked onto the bowl, and you put it in there and it comes out, and there's still all this fucking caked on shit on the bowls, right? And so everybody's like, oh, okay, well, all you have to do is just pre-wash it then. Well, you know why dishes end up clean when you pre-wash them and you put them into the dishwasher? It's because you fucking pre-washed them. You already washed. You did the work already. You cleaned the bowl before you put it into the dishwasher so that it's like fucking stone soup, right? It's a fucking stone soup. If I'm going to be scrubbing it already, I'm just going to wash the dishes right there and then. Look, Asian people don't use dishwashers, okay? Asian people don't use dishwashers. I remember I told this to David and he didn't believe me. He was like, you're making that up. Dude, Asian people don't use dishwashers. It's just the way it is. Because, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't fucking work. So, I don't know. And that's the thing too, is I'm really picky. When I wash my dishes and I take them out of the dishwasher, they're just not clean. They're just not clean. So honestly, I think they're a scam. I really do. I really don't think dishwashers are a real thing. Like, they're just there for they're there to trick you into thinking that you can rest and not have to do any work. Because I swear to God, after I end up using my dishwasher, I wash all of my dishes anyway. And that's why, like, that was like, they even had that joke on Fresh Off the Boat on the TV show. They actually had that joke where, like, he went to a friend's house that was a white family and they used a dishwasher and they're like, there's a machine that does this for you? What? And I almost died because it's so true, dude. It's so true. And I've tried using my dishwasher. I can't do it. Like, every time I do it, I don't trust it. Like, the fact that you're just basically, you can't get any visual confirmation that it's actually being clean in there. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like dishwashers are scam. They're just tricking you. Because every time you pre-wash it, you're just doing the work for it. So there you go. There you go. And and honestly, I feel like dishwashers use a lot more water as well than if I actually wash them myself. It feels like a waste of water as well, as Say No to Weaves says in the chat. I don't know if he's talking about manually doing it or if he's talking about the dishwasher, but I also feel that way. So yeah, Asian people actually don't use the oven a lot because Asian people don't cook anything with ovens. That's another thing too, if you've actually noticed. Asians, the reason why they can eat with chopsticks all the time is because you never need a knife to cut anything, because all the cutting in Asian food is done by the cook, right? They always take the chunk of meat and cut it into slices, and then they stir fry it, and then they give it to you. And so you can eat everything with chopsticks. Like, you just don't ever need to have a knife on Chinese food, because you never have to cut anything as a Chinese person. Another funny thing too is that Chinese food has no cheese. I've said that to one time and the guy was like, what? Yeah, Chinese food has no cheese. This is just basically how it is. So oh man. But no, I know that it's more of an Asian thing that they don't use dishwashers, but honestly, like, I don't see the point of it. And especially nowadays with Netflix on iPads and shit like that, or streams, I just fucking put that on my window in front of me while I wash dishes, and I just sit there and watch shit while I wash dishes. It doesn't even feel like it actually is kind of relaxing and everything like that. I don't feel like the dishwasher really, I don't know, it just wastes water, it doesn't get anything clean, and I don't know, it's just, and like I said, why am I going to if I'm going to take the time to pre-wash anything, I'm just going to wash it myself. So there you go. So Asian food is godlike to a lactose intolerant person like me. Yeah, there you go. Alright, that's all I wanted to say about dishwashers. Just for fun. So, I mean, honestly, I never wash dishes in the dishwasher. I've tried it a couple of times when I have a lot and I'm like, I really need to do this. And I put my pot in there and I turn on the dishwasher and it comes out and I look at the pot and there's just like fucking spots everywhere, and like you could see where the water boiled, you could see the rim on it still and everything like that. And I'm just like, what the hell is even happening here? Why aren't you doing your job? And it's just like wasting a time. So there you go. Anyway, that's all I've got today for Uncensored, unless anybody has any other questions that they want to ask. Hey, look, if Maytag wants to sponsor me and replace me with a newer dishwasher that somehow magically gets dishes more clean, which I like, what is the dishwashing machine technology? Does it spray harder? Like, what is the technology that makes newer dishwashers work better? I don't think there's mechanical hands that like are moving dishes and rubbing things, you know. I was always taught by my dad that you know a dish is clean when you rub it with your finger. You can hear the and that to me is a clean dish. And a lot of times I take things out of the dishwasher and you can still see like the little grime on there and stuff like that. So anyways, any other questions from anybody else? My Cami figure collection is largely in my closet and not displayed anywhere. There's a big chunk of it that's just sitting on my desk in my bedroom. And then, yeah, so unfortunately my Cami collection is not actually in a good displayable state right now. How does it feel to wake up knowing you tech throws? No, I mean, I tech throws when I know they're coming. Because you threw every time you did jump light kick. You did jump light kick throw every single time, Arik. And so it was more me reacting to a pattern than it was me actually teching throws. 1 hour wash cycle, seriously. Dude, the funniest story was we were in Canada, in Toronto, and it was like me, David, and somebody else was in the car with us, and we were on our way to the venue in an Uber. And I started, somehow the topic of dishwashers, where David always laughs at me when I say Asian people don't use dishwashers. And we were sitting there talking about it, and I was like, dishwashers don't work, man. And they don't actually do the job. And then our Uber driver, who was Chinese, was like, 100%. Dishwashers don't do anything. I never use the dishwashers. Dishwashers don't work. And I was like, you see? This man knows what he's talking about. Oh, man. I keep getting thrown when I jump in and attack in Sam's show. Moves do not do hit stun and block stun. Jump-ins do not do hit stun and block stun. So jump in, do an attack and backdash. Jump in, do an attack and do the combo jump. Make sure you do the tutorial so you understand combo jump. Or jump in, do an attack, and do a spot dodge. Jump in, make sure you do a much deeper attack, and then do an A after you land. But the best one is just jump in, do an attack, backdash, and then they'll whiff a throw, and then you basically can murder them. That's basically the way it works. How do I practice? Practice basically by whenever I have time doing a lot of training mode. The Nintendo Switch is the greatest thing in the world for practicing. Oh my god. I gotta move very subtly here because I don't want to get Jasmine to move here. Oh, but check this out. Oh, she is just lying on the ground. She is just lounging on the ground. Hi, kitty. She's just lounging there. But basically, the Switch is great for that. And then also, after you do that, then just play a bunch of matches online. Play a bunch of matches online and then figure out where your problems are. Figure out what you're doing wrong. If you do watch a lot of my streams where I do play online, even when I was playing on that E-League thing, I kept talking about what I was doing wrong and what I was assessing from the opponents. Getting better at fighting games is learning what and how to do things, and then playing online is learning why to do things. Wow, that's a fucking great summary. I gotta write that fucking down. I gotta write that down because that is one of the best descriptions I've ever heard, dude. Training mode is learning what and how to do things. Playing online is learning why to do things. Oh, that's beautiful. That's just absolutely, yeah, someone clip it. Please clip it because that's basically great. So yeah, absolutely, Razalicious. It's great. Joy-Cons don't even matter because I am playing MK on it. The Joy-Cons aren't very good, but I'm just using the Switch for information. I just use it so that I can find information while I'm on the airplane. I can find information sometimes while I just have something on the TV, like a sporting event on the background. I could use the Switch while I'm taking a dump. I could use the Switch while it's so convenient, and I could just like test things super, super easily. So it's really, really great for that. So, also I got that. Do I like Soul Calibur? I like Soul Calibur 6 a lot. I wanted to get good at Soul Calibur 6. I wanted to commentate and help the Soul Calibur 6 scene. I just haven't been able to put the work into it that I really, really want. I just didn't get to put in the work into it right now. So I'm woefully behind on Soul Calibur right now. And because I'm enjoying MK11, because I'm enjoying Sam's show so much right now, Soul Calibur is kind of falling by the wayside because you really just don't have the time to play all the games that you want to. So that's just really unfortunate. So Really, really unfortunate. Mortal Kombat's the only game I play on the Switch right now because it's the only fighting game that's really on the Switch besides like 30th Anniversary. But you know, sometimes I've labbed some Super Turbo stuff on 30th Anniversary, but it's harder because Super Turbo has a much stricter input reader, and so it's really hard to do things. Fortunately, Olaf bought and didn't use one of those Joy-Cons that actually has a D-pad, like a real thumb pad, and so if I ever play 30th Anniversary, I use that thing just so I can actually do some of the stuff. So, and yes, I do agree SC6 is highly underrated. It's a really, really good game. So, yeah, Barbara, I've heard about the Xbox thing. There's like 5 different services that are trying to do game streaming. I don't believe in any of them because freaking input lag is terrible. Oh, yes, actually, BB Tag. I used to lab on the Switch all the time. In fact, I lost a crap ton of sleep when BB Tag first came out because I'd just be sitting there labbing BB Tag all day. I was just like, I can do this, I can do this. God, I lost so much sleep because you're just lying there and you're like, oh, I really want to test this. I can, and you just pick up the Switch and turn it on, and it's like super fast, and you know, the Switch is always in sleep mode, so it just boots right back directly into training mode with your main character sitting there right away. So yes, BB Tag I did a lot. I did a lot. Yeah, I gained a lot of information. What did I say? The cat is reading the chat. Hi, kitty. Oh, okay. All right. What's my favorite game of all time? Tetris. What's up, Team Gohar TV? All right. If anybody else doesn't have any questions, I can probably go ahead and call this Uncensored episode. Again, if you guys enjoy this content, if you like this content, and you want to keep supporting me, please, subscribe. Follow the channel at least. Follow the channel. Subscribe. Follow our YouTube channel as well at youtube.com/ultrachenTV. You can also support by subscribing here. If you have an Amazon Prime account and you haven't used your free Twitch Prime, consider using it for me. Even if you don't use it for me, use it for somebody out there, because that's money, that's free money to a streamer that's basically going to nothing. So, shout outs to Low Tier Will and Soraiki for the subscriptions. And again, even if you don't necessarily subscribe to me with the Amazon Prime, please subscribe to somebody, because like I said, that's money that's basically going into the ether that can go to somebody. And if you sub to someone who only has like 10 subs or something, you'll make their day, dude. You will absolutely make their day. So stuff like that is very, very important. Also, you can check out my Patreon at patreon.com. I give out goofy little rewards there and stuff like that. Shout outs to the Bassa. Thank you, everybody who's streaming. Oh, yeah, and I did say this, that I was going to do this on every time I was streaming Unchensored. Hang on a second. Let me do this really quick. Let me get all the recent people who subscribed. Your reward for subscribing right now, so during this, so Gundam Jehudi Kai, suck my nuts, Gundam Jehudi Kai, and Lord Tiki, suck my nuts, Lord Tiki 22, and Low Tier Will, suck my nuts, Low Tier Will, and Soriki, suck my nuts, Soriki, and the Bassa, you know the drill, suck my nuts, the Bassa. There you go. So that's for everyone who subscribes, that's what I'm doing. So here. Sorry, low tier Will. Oh, man. In any case, also Patreon there, which I give goofy little rewards to people, and also, it encourages me to create more content and stuff like that. And, again, just check out the YouTube because I'm putting a lot of content out there as well. And if you really like the content, please click likes on all of the videos, and check out the videos. The ad content there does help us a little bit. I have short videos, like a minute and a half, fighting game dictionaries that you can check out where I describe descriptions. Having more views on it shows people that those things are valuable to other people, and so it's just all that social media stuff is very, very important and stuff. What game am I most excited about? That's a really good question right now, Barber. I'm not really sure. I'd have to think about it. So, yes, absolutely love your pets. Pets are the greatest. So, oh yeah, no problem, War Destroyer, no problem. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out and tuning in. I appreciate it. And actually, also Ruin donated as well. He said it's payday, so I figure I'll spread the love. Thank you, Ruin. Suck my nuts, Ruin. And I appreciate that very, very much. So there you go. Come back. There you are. Hi. But before I go, one last thing I want to say is that later on tonight, very, very late tonight, in fact, in the morning at 2:30 a.m. Pacific time, which is like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, which is 9 hours from now, SNK is running an official SNK Samurai Showdown tournament in Japan, and is only being streamed in Japanese originally. I will be doing a restream of that event sanctioned by SNK and be doing English commentary on it. They're going to be streaming the top 16 starting at 2:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and I will be doing the restream in English along with Olaf Redland, and we will be doing the top 16 for that, so that should be really exciting. So make sure you tune into that if you're interested in seeing some high-level Japanese Samurai Showdown play. I'm super excited for that. I'm super hyped. Can't wait to see the kind of stuff the Japanese players are finding and what they're doing. They have very different tier lists than we do. Like, they put Galford as absolutely like S tier and stuff like that. So I want to see some Galfords dominate and stuff like that. So that should be a lot of fun. Make sure you check that out. I'm probably going to take a small nap so that I can actually survive doing the commentary from 2:30 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. Not that I didn't go to sleep at about 6 a.m. last night anyway, because that's what I do, but it should be a lot of fun. It should be a good time. So make sure you tune in for that. But outside of that, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching another UnChensored. And remember, everybody, remember the magic words that you should all take to heart. Suck my nuts, assholes, and I'll see you next time. Good kitty. Good kitty.